Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Gallant, and I'm the Professional Services Manager for SolidCAD. Today, I'm here to go over how to get support for your CTC software. I've got a recorded series of videos that will walk through the steps to get or file a support incident and get help from ourselves and CTC. So if you bear with me, I'll share my screen and we'll walk through this process. Okay, so again, the title of today's webinar is how to get support for your CTC software. We'll go over the three primary methods for getting support, and I'll walk you through the steps of doing that. I'm also going to walk you through what happens after you've filed a ticket, so you can see a little bit of behind the scenes, and I'll talk about escalating a ticket from SolidCAD to CTC software. As a bit of an introduction, Solid Assist is the support program that SolidCAD offers. That's our brand name for customer support. Customer support is a free service that we offer to all our customers that have purchased software from us. And we work in conjunction with our software vendors, in this case CTC software, to provide that frontline support to all of our customers and all of their customers. At any time you're having issues with your software, you can file a support incident with us. And there are three main methods for filing a support ticket. The first method for filing a support ticket is through your CTC software. Today I'm going to show you how to do it through Hive. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop open Hive here. When the interface comes up, it'll load all of the tools and stuff. You can see from the home menu, I'm going to click the management portal. I'm going to go from the management portal, which opens my browser and logs into CTC Software's CMS homepage. And I'm going to select the Help menu. That will load a second tab. And then I'm going to click on the Technical Support for CTC Products, which will load a third tab. The first thing you want to do when you get here is change the country to Canada. And then you'll see the SolidCAD logo on the right-hand side. That will help redirect the ticket back to us. There's three options: support, bug report, and wish list. We're going to pick support in this case. And then you want to put in your software version, and then you want to put in the product name. With these in place, now what you want to do is you want to find the product version, and the next section here will walk through that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize the browser. I'm going to go back to the Hive CMS software. Under my name, I'm going to click About, and that's going to bring up the About menu. Then I'm going to find the version number right there for the CMS. So in this case, 22.0.4.0. Then I'm going to bring the browser back up, and I'm going to put in 22.0.4.0. The next section is all pretty self-explanatory. It's putting in your name, your first name, your last name, a phone number for us to contact you by, the company you're associated with, an email address. So I'm going to put in my SolidCAD email address. You would put in your corporate email address. Type in a subject. Preferably in the subject, we'd like to have a pretty good idea of what's going on. You don't have a lot of characters there, so you can be brief. In the description, you can add more details to that section as to what's going on. Unfortunately, there's no option to add an attachment here, but after this ticket is initiated, there's an opportunity to go and add attachments, which I'll show later on. So I'm just putting in the text for the ticket. And in this case, I'm actually creating a fake ticket with a real use case. We've had customers ask us, can you add external users to Hive? And the answer, of course, is yes. You can have somebody outside your organization. Can you restrict access to a library for that particular user? And again, the answer is yes. And so I'm just using that as some dummy data to put into the ticket. The second to last step on this form is answering the reCAPTCHA, or just verifying that you're not a robot by checking on the box there. So you'll see I do that. And then finally, go ahead and send the message. Just a little stop there. When you hit the send message, you should see a green box come up on the screen afterwards, indicating that you've successfully submitted the message. I stopped the process at that point because I didn't want to create a fake message. All right, so the second method is submitting a similar incident or ticket using your email. This email method is probably the simplest method to use to submit a ticket, and it's the one that I actually recommend the most. And you'll see why as we're walking through this. So just fast forward here a little bit. All right, so here we're going to see on my now Windows 11 system, I'm going to open up a mail client. I'm going to start a new mail message. For the two, I'm actually going to put in SolidCAD's Solid Assist email address, which is support@solidcad.ca. I'm then going to add a subject. Again, similar to the subject in the form, here we're actually going to incorporate some of the characteristics of the previous form right into the message. So I'm going to write the name of the product, so CTC Hive 22.4.0, and then a hyphen. And here I'm going to add the actual brief subject for the actual problem. So I'm writing, how do we add an external user? And I'm also now going to add some description below that. So here we're going to see, I'm going to type basically the same thing that was in the other form. So we're asking Solid Assist to show us how to add an external user, and then ultimately how to restrict that user to just one library. While we're watching me type, I'll let you know that in addition to Hive for the BIM project suite and other CTC tools, you can open your Revit software or other Autodesk software where you've got CTC tools installed. You can go to the help menu, press on help, and it will actually take you to that same form we were looking at in the previous section of the video. So here we go. What I'm doing is I'm putting in some contact information. Obviously, Solid Assist will have my email address because that's going to be part of the submission, but I'm adding the phone number that was on the previous form to the email address. I'm going to go ahead and hit send. And that message has then successfully gone to SolidCAD. It's hit our Solid Assist, and you've gotten an automatic reply back. And what I'm indicating right there is the case number, which in this case is 20255. So it's good to take note and probably save the email. In fact, definitely want to save the email, and I'll explain why here in the second part of the video. Okay, so before we circle back, we'll just quickly show the third method, and that's through telephone. I actually don't recommend that you use telephone as the primary method, only because if you use the telephone, we're ultimately going to probably push you back to using some type of screen sharing or sending emails back and forth. With the telephone, we don't have the ability to capture logs, grab other attachments, look at your screen, and do other things that are helpful in terms of resolving the issue. Of course, we can listen to you, we can try to talk you through things, but that's not as useful as, say, hopping on, well, like this interface, Zoom, and being able to see what's going on and interact back and forth. So it is there. It's always considered a backup method to the other two. So if you do want to call in, you're more than welcome to. That's what we provide the phone number for. And you'll see here in a second where you get access to the phone number. Okay, so back in my Windows 11 system, I'm just going to bring up a browser. And I'm going to go to the SolidCAD website. From the SolidCAD website, right on our banner at the very top, you can actually already see the phone number that you can call in. It's 1-877-438-2231. If you want more information about support and services in general, we keep the technical support component under our services banner. And I'm just going to click Solid Assist Technical Support, and we'll bring up that page. And from here, you can see the different methods. So there's, again, our phone number, again, also our email address, and there's a brochure on, Solid Assist is there. Okay, so that's the third method. So what's happening behind the scenes when you submit a ticket to us? So in other words, what are we doing when we get that either email or that form come into us? Likewise, even if you're calling in, what are we doing on our side? So this next section of the video will actually walk you through what's happening on our side. And I'm going to bring up a browser again. This time I'm going to log into our Zendesk software, which is our software agent. And from here, we'll be able to see the ticket that was automatically generated and the email that went back. So I'm going to click on that. And you can see here is the email that is down the bottom, and the one that I just typed and sent in. So again, it's got the subject, all the details, contact information is all in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take ownership as if I was the agent. And I'm going to fill in some stuff on the left-hand side. So I'm going to set the priority of the ticket. I'm going to select the software product. In this case, I'm going to select CTC Tools. I'm going to set the product version as 2022. I'm going to set the issue type as product troubleshooting. And then I'm going to put a tag in here. The tag is mostly for us, just so I can tag the product as being Hive. And then I'm going to type the reply. I have two options. I can type a public reply, or I can type an internal note. An internal note stays inside. So usually internal notes are used for myself as managers to say, hey, this agent, pick this ticket up, or sometimes it's between agents back and forth where they're trying to get help and assistance with one another. All right, so I'm just typing the reply back to, well, myself as the customer in this case, but I would be ordinarily typing the reply back, or the agent would be typing the reply back to the customer. And I'm indicating, as you can see, that we've seen this issue many times, which we have. We know exactly how to resolve it. And you're going to see here in a second, I'm going to indicate that I would attach an article to it. We do have the ability to attach articles. I'm not going to obviously do that because I don't need to send an article to myself, but you can see the paper clip down here. So we would attach the article straight to the external note that's being created, or the public reply. And then we would send it along with the email. So I'll just finish typing up the email here to the individual, and then I'll go ahead and send it off. If any of you are wondering why you rarely see spelling mistakes and stuff from us, you can see I've mistyped knowledge base in there. Coming up shortly, I think I mistyped probably another word. Spell check is actually in here, so it's redlined the text, and it will give me the opportunity to correct my spelling mistakes or typing errors. I'm also indicating that if you need assistance, you can simply reply back to this email, and this will generate a response back to the system again, and I'm going to show that here in a second once we send this email. In this case, I'm typing back that they want, I can set up a screen sharing session, and we can walk through the various steps to create that external user and set the permissions correctly. Okay, so all done with the typing. I'll quickly correct my spelling and typing errors. Definitely don't want to add that to the dictionary. And I'll go ahead. Last step is to set this new status. So I'm going to set it as pending because I don't know if that's resolved the issue or not. You see the ticket's disappeared. It hasn't been resolved, but it's gone out of the new queue and it's now gone into my queue. Okay, what I'm going to show you now is the response and reply component or workflow. And I'm coming back in as the user in this case, back into my mail client. And you can already see the reply has hit my inbox along with an advert, looks like. And it's going to bring that email up. Okay, there's my reply back. And yep, looks like that probably resolved the issue. So I'm just going to reply back to the ticket and let myself know that I've resolved my ticket for myself. And you'll see that here in a second as I type that out. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and hit send. And no, I'm not going to rate the app. And I'm going to log back in as the agent, and you'll see that that ticket is now back in my Zendesk agent with the updated status. So it's reset the status back to open. And now I'm going to come back in. I'm going to type in a response. You'll know that, hey, yeah, great. It's wonderful that it's now fixed. I'm going to go ahead and close the ticket. Again, I'm going to correct my typing error. And this time I'm going to go down and I'm going to change the status of the ticket to solved. All right, that's it. Okay, a little bit about what happens with tickets if they need to be escalated. I didn't record video for this one, but I'll just talk through it briefly. For escalations where we need to escalate to CTC software, we actually use somewhat of a similar process. We will take your ticket, we'll generate an email response, and we'll forward that off to CTC software. Because we have a partner relationship with them, those inbound tickets are treated with a higher priority. And we normally, once we submit the ticket, we'll have 1 or 2 communications with CTC software support desk, usually verbally and or a combination of verbal and email, depending if we need to transfer files, do screen sharing, whatever, to try to replicate the issue. Once we've successfully replicated the issue, if the issue happens to be a bug fix or it happens to be a wish list item, so in other words, an enhancement request for a particular product, they will go ahead and submit those to their development track. Their developers will work on it. CTC software support desk will provide us with regular updates letting us know that the ticket has been escalated to the development group. The development group is investigating a particular fix or investigating a new product. We'll transfer or re-communicate those communications to the customer via our support system. And then when the fix and or the enhancement request is ready, CTC software will email us one final time to say, yep, this particular product and this version number is available for download from here is now ready and available for you to go ahead. We'll download the latest binary with the fix inside of it. We'll then test it on our side, and then we'll forward the results of that test. If it's positive, onto you as the customer. If it's negative, we'll pass it back to CTC software and say, no, that didn't resolve the issue, or enhancement request is not exactly what we were looking for, and we'll work with them to get it exactly spot on. If it is perfect and everything is great, obviously, again, we pass it on to you. We may help you get the software downloaded and installed if you require that, or if you can do it all on your own, obviously we'll just provide a link to the software, usually the installation guide and configuration guide, so that you can install it yourself, and you're good to go from there. All right. Conclusions, just again, reiterate, there are three primary methods to getting support for your CTC software. The first one is through your CTC software itself. So again, if that's Hive, just go into Hive, the management portal, which will open a browser, take you to the Hive portal in your browser. From there, go to Help and go to Technical Support, which will bring up that form that we showed in the beginning. Fill in the form, and everything is automated behind that, so that we'll get the instance. We'll see that. The second method, again, is through email. Probably the fastest method to get to us, and probably the richest experience. So you can add attachments of logs, screenshots of any error dialogues, any text you want, anything basically you can add as an attachment, and it will automatically get added to the ticket. And obviously it generates that ticket as I showed you in the process. And then the third method, again, I don't highly recommend it, but you can use it where you need to, and that's the telephone. And you can get to us through that method anytime you like as well. All right, that is how to get support for your CTC software. Thanks very much for joining me today. If there's any questions or if you need help, obviously, please follow the instructions in the video, and that'll be great. Have a great day.